Hello, this is Rosa Trujillo, identifying as she, her, hers, ella, and I'm bringing you tips, advice, resources to empower you in your career journey. This podcast is proudly partnering with our Dream Success Center on campus to bring you this particular series that we would like to label as your career readiness series. As always, for future support, resources, and positive vibes, you can always engage with both our centers virtually by visiting our websites for more information on how to connect with us one-on-one. For this week's topic, we're getting your foot in the door, right? So a bunch of times you'll see our career center, you'll see partnering. Career centers as well as like departments on campus talk about internships, right? And gaining that experience. And even in my own counseling sessions with students and workshops and just different collaborations across the campus, I always hear students saying, I know I need an internship, right? And so, which is great. It's good that we all know that we need that experience. But at the end of the day, do you know what you want from that experience, right? Or how do you get there? And that's like a very deep conversation that I like to have with students. And sometimes it goes into like, what are your goals? Like, do you want to explore, right? But, especially when I'm talking with folks that are undocumented, are documented, or come from mixed status families that want to support so many in their family or friend circle, it comes down to the question, but what if I can't? Right? What if I can't get an internship because it's requesting for me to be a US citizen and I'm not, or my family member is not, or my friend isn't a US citizen? What if this company, isn't looking for self-contracting? What if I can't, right? And it's really hard, right, to get out of that question, right? Because we just automatically come with this master narrative that anyone can do this internship, like there is no challenges or barriers, but in reality there is, right? And so I've always thought about, well, what are the alternatives, right? So for this podcast, I'm here to bring you hope, right? There's multiple ways that you can continue to explore your career possibilities as well as become career ready when you finally get your degree, right? So here are my top 4 experiences to add to your resume that make you competitive, that help you again with that career exploration, career readiness, and you just gain a wonderful network. So the first one is always a shock to people, but join a club. And that's the first experience that you can put on your resume and that you can actually develop very well on a resume. So when you join a club on campus, right? I mean, like, get involved, right? Be part of the board, get those leadership skills under your belt. This is a very great way for you to not only like connect with other peers and start building your network, but most of the time, these clubs on campus have really great connections because they have faculty advisors and they know people, or the org has had so many years on campus that it has a lot of like alumni, and so alumni are very willing to come back and engage with the members of the club, right, of the organization. So sometimes joining a club not only allows you to, one, develop those leadership skills by like maybe providing services for your other members, but two, it gives you an avenue to a network, right? And at the end of the day, when it comes down to like thinking about other experiences or thinking, what are you going to do after graduation, especially if maybe that's still a difficulty of producing certain requirements. Again, you need a network. You need someone who you can talk with and say, hey, this is my predicament, but I can deliver this to the table. Again, you're going to need people. So joining a club is one experience that I highly recommend. Second experience is volunteer work. So especially if you're a freshman, sophomore, and you're still exploring and you're like, I really don't know. I mean, I'm in marketing, but do I want to do digital marketing? Do I want to do traditional marketing? Maybe you're in the healthcare field, right? Maybe you are thinking about like hospitality, right? Maybe you're thinking about being part of like museums, right? Being in the art industry, or working for nonprofits. And you're like, well, how do I get that experience? Well, a lot of those arenas actually allow you to volunteer, and it's very minimal commitment, right? It's not like a traditional internship where you may do a whole semester and it's certain hours. Sometimes these volunteer opportunities are super short. So My second recommendation, a different type of experience that you can definitely bank on, is volunteer work. So especially if you're still exploring. So again, I highly recommend that. The third one, especially if you're in the sciences or you're thinking in the future maybe you want to do research, the third experience is actually research experience with faculty on campus. So there are faculty members that are continuously doing research, and they could get funds, or they may have funds where they could pay a student to help them in their research, right? So sometimes reaching out to your favorite faculty member, telling them that you're interested maybe in the branch of research that they're doing, could be a great way for you to not only build a great relationship and hopefully get a letter of recommendation, especially if you're thinking of grad school, but also it allows you to practice a lot of those hard skill type of skill sets, right? So especially if you're like in the sciences, right, and you're practicing all that lab stuff, or or maybe you're in engineering and you're doing C++, right, a different type of language, right? Or maybe you're liberal arts, right, and you have a history teacher or an anthropology teacher, and they're both really great at their research, and you're just interested and you want to learn more, right? All of those are great reasons to reach out to faculty and say, hey, I would really love to get engaged with research. Do you have anything I can work with you with, right? Um, Lastly, but not least, freelance and self-contracting. So this is a great way to get paid experiences, right? But then also it allows you to practice in the industry, right? So a lot of students who are in the arts, like think of graphic design, photography, a lot of students who are in math or in business and are doing accounting, right? Certain skill sets, right, that you develop in your major, those are really good to just like self-contract and do freelancing, right? Now there's a lot of things you want to consider when it's freelancing and self-contracting, which again I highly recommend to go to Immigrants Rising. They have a lot of great info just to better understand what that looks like, but it's another great way to engage with the industry and to gain those quote unquote years of experience that all of us see in those job descriptions. So again, just to summarize those four types of experiences. So one is joining a club, volunteering, researching with a faculty member on campus, and doing freelance or self-contracting. All of these different types of experiences, again, great way for you to explore, but also has the potential to really make you stand out in the industry and jobs that you're looking for, right? Especially after graduation. Um, and so that is kind of like my tips for getting your foot in the door. If you want more content or want to check out, what you want to chat about your career, just visit our Career Development Center website or book an appointment using CareerLink. Again, both CareerLink and our website have a lot of resources you can access. But this is me signing off. But as always, remember to never stop dreaming, that every step is a victory and you should celebrate it, and that the people who always believe and cheer you on are closer than you think. Until next time, bye.